Well, hello everybody and welcome to Lunch Break Live, real talk about obesity, food addiction, recovery, and what's really eating you. I am Carrie De La Cruz here with you today on a wet and wild, rainy Thursday. It is Thursday, right? Here in Southern California. Let me just say, somebody must not have paid their taxes because it's not supposed to rain here. Not that I'm not happy about it because we've been in an endless drought, but let me tell you, do we have to get it all at once? It is crazy out there, but I'm really happy to be here with you guys for a fourth day in a row. Gonna be a crazy wet and wild show today, probably. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. I see you, Mom, and all those hearts floating by. Today's show is called Excuses, Excuses. Excuse me? So before I get to that point, though, I have a little mini logic lesson. Okay, mini logic lesson. And here's how it sounds, all right? I want you guys to follow me with this and see if you're being logical or illogical in your thinking. All right, you buy some pants, right? We've all bought pants. They fit. They are comfortable. I'm not talking about buying goal pants or pants that will look good when, okay? I'm talking about pants that fit comfortably now, okay? All right. One day, you put them on, and they're tight. Yeah, that's never happened to any of us. Put them on and they're tight. What do you conclude from the experience? Go ahead and throw that out there for me if you know the answer. You put on your pants and they're too tight. What is your conclusion? Let me just give you a little hint. This is where you're going to use deductive reasoning. And what that means is you're going to go from a general situation to a specific conclusion, all right? Anybody? It's not popping up for me, even though you might be answering, but that's Facebook for you. So let's just say you have the right answer. What you're going to conclude is the pants did not change size. I did. And I must be bigger because the pants don't fit anymore, right? So that's deductive, logical reasoning. All right, and I can't read, they shrank. Right. Thanks, Mom. Exactly. All right. Inductive reasoning says, and that's where you go from specific to general. Okay, you go from a specific situation and you make a broad generalization, draw a generalized conclusion about it, okay? It says, my pants are too tight because I gained weight and I will regain all of my weight so they will never fit again. Is that the kind of logic you've been working with? Because I know a lot of us who have. All right, fallacious reasoning, which means not true, okay? Illogical, really. Says, okay, remember, pants don't fit, they're too tight. I must get on the scale to see why my pants don't fit. Really? So, you know your pants don't fit, they're tight, which means you're bigger, which usually means you've gained weight, but it could have something to do with muscle changing or whatever, right? But if you're trying to get on the scale, it means you know you've probably put on fat. So what is the scale going to tell you that your pants didn't already tell you? That's what I want to know. See, that's this fallacious logic that says I have to get on the scale to tell me because my pants are tight, and that's going to tell me something that I don't already know. Okay. What if your pants are loose? It happens. What if your pants are loose, right? How many of us get on the scale to see how loose they are? Gee, I wonder why my pants are loose. Do we get on the scale to find out? Maybe. We get on the scale and we're like, my pants are loose. I'm being good. Let me see just how good. I'm being 10 pounds less good, which means I'm more good. Well, that's how we use the scale, isn't it? To determine how good we are. Because we don't need the scale to tell us that we must have gained weight or something if our pants are too tight and that we must have lost weight if our pants are loose, right? So why are we using the scale? Here's what I'm asking you, okay? Does the scale tell you anything you don't already know? Only you can answer that. Pants are tight, you gained weight. Pants are loose, you lost weight, or inches, or whatever that is, okay? Can you zip your pants? You gained a little weight. Can you button them? Maybe you've gained a little more. Can you get them over your butt? Okay, you've gained a lot. See, pants can tell you things that the scale doesn't. Why don't we rely on those more? So remind me again why you need the scale. I mean, this is our little lesson in logic. Why do you need a scale? Oh, right, I got it. I wrote it all out here. You ready? Because I need the scale because I haven't reached goal. That's why I need the scale. Goal what? Oh, I'm sorry, I digress. Weight that says you're a good person. Oh, goal weight, because I'm a good person if I meet my goal weight. Okay, how about this? How do you feel in your skin? Now, I know a lot of us have body image issues. I know a lot of us lose weight and have loose skin issues. So I'm not addressing that stuff. But guess what? The scale doesn't address that either. The scale does not address your body image issues. And the scale doesn't address loose skin. It weighs something, doesn't it? Even though it's not fat. So how that makes you feel worse about yourself. It makes you feel more fat, even though it's loose skin. See? So, okay. Now, are you comfortable in your body? If you aren't, then you have more work to do. Comfortable meaning, are you fit and agile? Or are you, what did I put here? Flabby and tired. Have you reached a place in your journey where you feel pretty good in your clothes? Let's say you did. And then you get on the scale and you're like, oh my gosh, I felt good in my clothes. But then now I weigh more than my goal weight. So even though I still wear a size 10 or a 12, I weigh more than I did. So now somehow I'm a bad person. So in other words, pants still fit, but for some reason, because you have to weigh yourself every single day, and now the scale says you weigh 2 pounds more, even though the pants still fit you fine, but now magically you're a bad person because the scale said something that even your pants didn't tell you. That's kind of weird. And then you go, I have to lose more weight so I can wear a smaller size maybe, so I'll feel better about myself, because clearly still wearing the same size but getting on the scale and it gives me a different number, so I need to lose weight and change sizes so I'll feel better about myself. Let's think about the fact that someone could weigh 175 pounds and wear a size 10, and a 150 pounder can also wear a size 10. How do you figure on that one? Is the person that weighs 25 pounds more a less good person than the person who weighs 150 because the scale says 175 instead of 150, even though the pants both say size 10? I don't understand, all right? We're all different in our structure and body type, but the thing is it the pounds that define the person, or the size, or what? What is it? If you're looking at the scale to define you, you're going to be unhappy every time because it's not going to define you in a positive way. It's just not. All right, so what I'm getting at here is you don't need the scale to tell you what your pants can already tell you and what you already know. I promise you. That's why I don't weigh myself anymore. If my pants get a little tight, I know I'm going the wrong way. If they start to feel better, I know I'm doing the right things. I mean, that's about it. Do I need the scale to tell me that I've gained 5 pounds or 4 pounds or whatever? And no, I know. I know that I know that I know. Basically, you're either at a healthy weight or you aren't. That's not a single number. We all know that. It's a set of factors that include everything from like blood pressure and blood sugar to blood work. Okay, so the scale, the weight, the number on the scale is one variable, one factor that we put way too much weight. We give it way too much weight, which is important. Okay, so your weight's not the only indicator for your health. Your pants are a better indicator of your weight than the scale. Ta-da! That's the conclusion of our mini logic lesson. So there's that. Okay, now, the excuse thing. Oh boy, the excuse thing. All right, let's see here. Let me just start by saying I am a recovering excuse machine. Oh my gosh, I was like an amazing excuse generator. My mom reminded me that her dad, whom I never met, her dad had a name for people that made excuses, and he called them, am I getting this right, Mom? Alibi owls. They always had an alibi and an excuse for everything. Traditionally speaking, how much do we like alibi owls? How much do we like excuse makers? Here's the thing. It depends on what side of the equation you're on. If you're the person who's on the receiving end of excuses, you probably don't like it really well, right? Because it doesn't change the situation. It doesn't change the circumstances. But if you are the one who's giving the excuses, the excuse generator, like in my case, I can look back now and go, okay, I used them because I wanted to be excused. Of course, right? I make an excuse, so I'll be excused. But that means I wanted to be forgiven, and I wanted to be understood, not judged, and I wanted to be left alone. Give me a pass on this one, okay? All right. I didn't want people to think poorly of me. That's why I made excuses. And I figured, and I put this in all caps, if I explained the circumstances, which is what I call making excuses, by the way. I was just giving explanations. You see, the problem is you would feel differently. You wouldn't think it was an excuse, person, if you understood the reason. See, there's a reason, there's an explanation. Oh, because they would understand why I hadn't done the thing or why I had done the thing. They would understand, which you don't get with an excuse, right? But with an explanation you do, and oh yeah, they wouldn't blame me. That was the thought process for me. And you have to remember, I majored in people pleasing and I have a minor in impression management. So it's like, I'm going to manipulate and I'm going to manage your impressions of me, your expectations of me. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to give you really great explanations, not excuses. Okay? Denial. Remember we talked about that yesterday? All right. I did not understand why explaining myself could ever be characterized as making excuses. What's the big deal? And you're like, I don't know what the big deal is. All right. As usual, I'm going to give you this really weird metaphor or analogy. I never know what to call it, or yeah. Anyway, and it's going to be like something that you can, that will make sense to you. And if it does make sense to you, now that you've like been listening to me long enough, I'm either grateful that you understand it or really, really sorry, because that must mean you're thinking like me. Sorry. Anyway. All right. So here we go. It's really ugly, by the way. Now that I'm like on this side of the equation, looking at it going, I can't believe I ever did that. I can't believe I ever did that. But, you don't know how you look from the back, right? You're walking along, you can't see yourself from the back, but boy, you can see it on other people. And when you see it on other people, you're like, oh God, that looks terrible. Well, guess what? That's how I looked from the back too, which makes me want to talk about pants. What is it with me and pants today, right? Size of your pants, fit of your pants. All right, I'm going to talk about the pants. Here's the thing. If we can't see ourselves from the back, maybe we don't know that those pants really do make our butts look big. And but even though I can't see it, maybe I know it. Maybe I know my butt looks big, but I'm thinking that maybe if I explain it, if I explain why, then maybe my butt won't look so big, or maybe they'll understand and then they'll accept it and think it's not as big as it really looks. I don't know. All right, let me continue with this. All right. If my butt looks bigger in white pants, and that matters to me. For some people, this doesn't matter. For me, it did. All right. White pants, this was like a mantra, right? You don't wear white after Labor Day. Well, if you got a big butt, you don't wear white pants. That was my rule, all right? So if my butt looks bigger in white pants, I need to stop wearing white pants, not start making excuses for why my butt looks bigger in them, okay? So I need to stop wearing them, not start making excuses for why it looks bigger, because the thing is, nobody cares why it is. They just care that it is, and that is where the confusion begins. We put a lot of stock into believing that people will be okay with something if they know why, which can be the case sometimes, all right? Not as often as we think. But really, most people just care that it is. It is. Now, what are we going to do about the fact that it is, all right? Maybe the bottom line is that we want to be forgiven for not looking good in white pants, right? I mean, again, this sounds really surfacey and silly, but this is kind of how my little pea brain always used to work. Maybe we feel bad that we don't look good in them, and we want to make excuses so others won't judge us for looking bad in them. And maybe we think that by making excuses for how we look in our white pants, other people will actually think we look good in them. Home run for excuse makers. Not only are we forgiven, we're celebrated. See how that works? That's all that impression management. That is excuse making, you know, that's advanced placement excuse making is what that is. If you can get people to actually celebrate you, like not only just understand you and forgive you, but man, you're good. I totally understand. I can't believe that I ever thought differently of you. That was such a great explanation. Yeah, that's a home run, baby. All right, so here's a great example of my legendary excuse making. So as I was like writing this out today, I remembered this, and it's kind of mortifying to me now, but it was a lot of years ago. Okay, I'm 19. Not now, duh, but I was 19. And I work at an ad agency on Mid-Wilshire, right across from the Ambassador Hotel, and that's in LA. It's in downtown LA, all right? Takes me an hour to drive to work on the LA freeways, an hour in the morning, but if I leave a little later, it only takes 50 minutes. So it takes 10 minutes less if I leave later. Unfortunately, that also gets me there 10 minutes late, but I get to leave home 20 minutes later. See? So I actually save 10 minutes. All right, so I'm leaving 20 minutes later. I'm getting to work 10 minutes faster even though I'm 10 minutes late. Are you following that? Yeah. Well, ironically, one of my favorite bosses, Jack Bernstein, whom I lost to cancer at a young age, and I just learned that a couple of years ago. It's really devastating. Loved that man. He did not agree with me. I mean, he initially humored me a little bit, but he was like, yeah, okay, right, but then at some point he just like said, look, I'm really tired of the excuses. This is what he said. That, okay, I claimed they were logical explanations. Remember, explanations, not excuses. And he just said, look, I don't care how much time you save by leaving later. I just want you here on time. Okay? I don't care why your butt looks big in the pants. It looks big in the pants. Right? Deal with it, right? Even if you have to leave yesterday, I need you to be here on time. That's what he said. Got it? Fair enough, right? That's fair. But to me, he just didn't get it. You know what? He was not being logical or understanding. He was not getting my explanation, and he didn't understand. Sure he did. He wanted me to be there on time. And he wanted me to care about being there on time too. And he wasn't going to make any excuses about it. So he didn't understand, or he'd have agreed. That's what I said. Or would he have? Was I trying to get him to agree that I didn't look that bad in white pants? Yep. Trying to go for that home run, right? So whatever the case, nobody wants excuses. I think we can pretty much conclude that. It's icky. Even if you think they're explanations, okay, like in court. Guilty with an explanation. Have you ever heard that one? Been to court? Guilty with an explanation, because we cannot stand the thought of being guilty and not being given an opportunity to explain why we're guilty. Well, the bottom line is you're either guilty or you're not guilty. And how many of us hope that an explanation will make us completely innocent, which in a court of law really doesn't factor in. Think about it, okay? Let's say you're like, well, I'm not really sure I make excuses like that. I'm not really. Okay, let's talk about your kids. Are you annoyed when they make excuses to you? And they, you know, you expect them to do something. You told them to do it. They said they'd do it. They don't do it. Are you annoyed? Let's see. Do you get annoyed when a friend doesn't do what they said they would do? Does it make it any better if they always have a reason? They always have a really good reason. Is it better or not? All right. Here's what I think, okay, at least in my case. I now know, okay, from where I sit, from a healthier place of acceptance, from a place where I've had to own my crap, face it, you know, accept it, deal with it, own it, all that stuff, okay. I now know I made excuses, okay, I made excuses for things so people would not blame me for being obese. I know it sounds crazy. I was trying to create a foundation of understanding for all of the little things so that I would be forgiven, you know, be given a pass for the really big things, all right? I wanted them to be able to understand me for the very, very, very biggest thing of all. I was fat. Please forgive me for being fat. If you just understood all this other stuff over here about me, if I could just explain that to you, then none of this stuff over here would matter. Please don't pay attention to that stuff over here. Let's focus over here. That's what I was doing. And maybe you're not doing that, and maybe not everyone is doing that, but I'm telling you, that's what I was doing. So this may fit, and if it doesn't, like those pants, if they may not fit, and they may never have fit, so just set them aside. You don't even need to fold them. I'm giving you permission. People get tired of excuses because it looks a lot like blame. Do you guys agree with that? You're blaming everyone else and everything else for something you won't own. You're irresponsible, you're unreliable, you're unaccountable when you make excuses. That's how people feel about it. You know, you're slippery. I can't trust you. You're not reliable. You're not accountable. You're not even owning it. You're just making excuses, right? And like I said yesterday, you're like Jell-O, man. You're like Jell-O, and no one's going to nail you to the wall. Let's see here. You always have a very good reason. Here's some really good reasons that, you know, they're not excuses. They're reasons. I was sick. I overslept. I didn't hear the alarm. I didn't set the alarm. Traffic was horrible. I didn't know I was out of gas. I didn't get that email. Our email server has been really flaky lately. I didn't want to do it wrong, and it's taking me just a little longer to do it right. You don't want me to do more than I should here, right? I mean, you're not being unreasonable. That guy never called me back. See, that's the thing. I mean, I don't have an answer because he never called me back. I was going to, Mom. I was going to, but then 3 people interrupted me and I ran out of time. Those are explanations, not excuses, unless you're on the receiving end of them. How do you feel when people throw that stuff at you? You're like, I don't care. What was supposed to happen did not happen. That's really all we need to discuss here. Did it happen or not? No. Okay. Were you supposed to do it or not? Yes. I don't care if you have any reason for it not happening. Own it and get it done. All right? Unfortunately, the less receptive people in the world are onto your excuses. And the more far-fetched and ludicrous your excuses become because they're not believing the simple ones anymore, the less reliable you are, the more suspicious you are, and the less compassionate people are for you. And I'm not going to name names, but I have some vendors who are pretty bad. Oh, I'm sorry, bold with their excuses. Yeah. See, I'm just going to give you this, and he's not watching my show. He doesn't know, but boy, if he hears this, I didn't buy it. Okay. See, your job is way on the other side of the building, and they could be moving it to my side of the building anytime. And what if I go to that side of the building while they're moving it to my side of the building, and I get there, but it's back here at my office? And okay, what if it is there when I get there, but the skid has metal bands? I'm going to need 10 snips to snap the bands, which is kind of hard. And you know what? They're always hard to find on that side of the building. Did I mention how busy I am? How receptive do you think I am to that kind of talk? Do I view it as explanations? Am I willing to forgive him, or are they excuses? Do I still want my job? Yes. Did you tell me I could have my job? Yes. Do I have my job? No. I don't care about the 10 snips. I don't care how many steps you have to take. Please don't tell that to me anymore, because if anything, I am now less forgiving, less understanding, and less patient. See? But on his side of things, it makes perfect sense. Please just understand. Please let me explain. If you understood, you'd forgive me. No. And that's what I used to do. And I just got all buzzy again. I get buzzy when things really, really resonate. Ugly, ugly, and embarrassing. And I did it here at my job a lot. A lot. I had excuses for everything. Basically, I don't feel better about his building or the metal bands or his business or him. That's what I wrote. On the contrary, I'm cranky, I'm unforgiving, and I'm done. And I'm like, just do your damn job. And if you can't do it, don't say you will. Done. Right? So excuses don't help anybody. They're not explanations. They're not reasons. They are just things that we throw out there so that we hope people will forgive us, not judge us, not blame us, whatever. And so hopefully we won't have to think less of ourselves than we already do down inside. And maybe they'll just forgive us for the big stuff if we can get them to forgive us for the little stuff. It just so happens this guy is pretty big. And I am sad to say that I'm pretty sure he's dealing with a lot of denial and obesity. And he's afraid that everybody judges him when they look at him. And these excuses are a defense mechanism. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know this stuff. It's just what I see. Anyway, what I see in him is someone who lives in a constant state of denial. It's never his fault or his responsibility. He never plays a part in the problem, and it's not his job to find a solution. He is Teflon, and I am Velcro, and that is a really bad combination. You don't want to work with people like that, do you? So my question is, do you want to be a person people want to work with or not? All right. So I'm going to have you think about what I'm saying here. Are you an excuse maker? Do you have an answer to everything? If so, if you're that kind of person that has an immediate answer to everything, is it possible that you're not owning your crap, or that you're trying to manage other people's impressions of you? Is it possible that you're making excuses for the small things because you can't excuse the big things? In other words, excuse me for being late because I can't excuse myself for being fat. I'm always going to give it to you straight, you guys. I'm never going to sugarcoat it, ever. I know that hangs out there, and it's ugly, and it sounds so raw and so cruel. But those are the types of things that I thought, that I believed, and I guarantee you, there, I get to use it one time per episode. I am not alone in my thinking. And whether it's right or wrong, that's what I thought, and guess what? That's what a lot of other people think out there in the world when they're judging us. So, I know it's brash, and I know it's bold, and you might have an excuse for why I'm wrong, and that's okay. I just want you guys to think about it. So as I wrap it up, I have to just tell you, while I was preparing for the show, my best friend butt dialed me. But there's the butts again. And then I called her back and I asked her if she knew she'd butt dialed me, or whether she meant to do it. And are you ready? She insisted that she hadn't called me because I had called her, which was true. I called her back after she butt dialed me. And fortunately, her son was there to explain, Mom, no, butt dial. You butt dialed her. That's why she's, okay, he explained that to her. But here's the thing. You ready? I mean, basically, it just evolved into this conversation of excuses. Hello, friend. Are you listening? Here's the excuse. She says, I didn't call you, though. My phone did. My phone, I don't know why my phone called you. It was way over there on the other side of the room. And I hadn't even turned it on or logged it on or anything. So, yeah. She doesn't know why. The phone, she didn't do it. And apparently neither did her butt. Which wasn't in white pants because it's winter and she's in Washington. Anyway, the phone was just sitting there. And it must have just inexplicably called me. I didn't buy that excuse or that explanation, and I had to call her on her crap. So anyway, that's the bottom line. Don't make excuses for your butt. Yay! I'm wrapping up the show. Whether it's wearing white pants or dialing your best friend, I think that's just good advice, don't you? So it is what it is. Own it and move on. Ta-da! That's the end of today's show. You never know what you're going to get with me. What time is it? It's right there. Should I look at comments or not? Should I say hi to you guys? Hey, Ray. Should I put my glasses on and see what you guys are saying or not? Do you want to? Okay, I don't want to go long, but I'd love to go long apparently. All right. So, hey Ray, made it late, but here, no excuses. You're here, and I'm really glad for it. I was going to. Yes, Mama. I used to say that until Dad chased me around the house and cured me of it. Let's see. Who else is here? Anybody else commenting? I won't call you out if you didn't say something to me. Hola, Noelle. That's my sobrina, Noelle. Hola, mija. I'm sure she's not watching anymore, but hi. Muy guapa, tía, la quiero mucho. She said, you look very pretty aunt, and I love you very much. Te quiero mucho también, mija. Mi hermosa, mi preciosa, mi tesora, sobrina. So I said she's beautiful, and she's precious, and she's treasure. Okay, so let's see here. Melissa, I can say hi to you because, you share and everybody knows you're here. Hi, I'm so glad that you are here. Oh, Alibi Ike. Yes, not Alibi Al, but we can go with Alibi Al too, can't we, Mom? Let's see. Some may be water weight. Yes, good excuse, Mom. I love the feedback. All right, and Bill's here. Hey, I'm calling you out because people know you're here too. I gained weight. That's the conclusion, right? But Melissa, do you need the scale to tell you that, or do you already know? And what's the difference going to be? It's like, are we looking at the scale to wait till it reaches a certain number? Like when it's bad enough, we'll do something about it. We're like, nah, it's only 2 pounds. It's only 5 pounds. I'm good. It's 10 pounds. Now I have to do something about it. Are we looking to the scale to somehow coax us or motivate us, inspire us, or guilt us into doing the right thing? And until the scale says something bad enough, we don't do anything about it? How about we just rely on the pants? If you can't get your pants up over your butt, you might want to do something about it. But let's not wait till we get there. If the pants are snug, do something about it now. Pitch the scale. I'm telling you guys. I am just telling you as someone that had a horrible relationship. I was imprisoned by the scale. I just had this horrible, unhealthy relationship with the scale that I claimed was healthy. I claimed it was accountability. I claimed it was just, keeping me on track. I claimed it was just keeping me honest. BS. It was keeping me hostage. That's it. And I realized I know how my body feels. I know how my body feels when I gain weight, and I know, because I'm honest with myself, I know what I did that contributed to my pants being tight. I got it. I do not need the scale to tell me anything I don't already know. And I am going to challenge you guys, pitch the damn scale, because it's holding you hostage. It's not telling you anything you don't already know. If anything, it's giving you an excuse. And that is how I'm going to sum up today's show. So I hope that this made sense. But like I said, if it did, I'm really sorry, or I'm really happy. I'm not sure yet. You dozed off in your chair. No excuses. Right. Sure you did, Ray. I hope you were doing what was it? You said you were going to start doing exercise videos. Yeah, maybe you were just exercising and that's why you're so tired. So hi, Angela. I'm really glad you're here. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to leave you because it's going long and I need to just back off this. I just need to stop and rein it in. And, maybe if I stop talking about white pants, I'll get there faster. So that's about it, guys. See, men don't have problems with white pants. They wear khaki dockers all the time and it's not an issue. But, I don't know. Do they have pockets on the back? Because that adds weight. Okay, anyway, I'm signing off, guys, because it's just getting loopy. So happy, whatever, Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, or whenever it is that you guys are watching this on demand. Please share this. Okay, be courageous and be bold and have the courage to share this with somebody else who could benefit from it. All right, let's create a really thriving, energized community of people who are all working their recovery without excuses. All right, I'm signing off now. Remember to have courage, seek peace, embrace joy, and above all, no excuses. Live your recovery. Remember, you can't stop feeding what's eating you if you don't know what's eating you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.